Alright. This video is going to be a video where I just sit down and talk about this game. It's going to be try to be the most legit video I've talked about in my plans for the off season. So I'm going to get comfortable here. You better get comfortable. For the first time ever, I think, on this channel that I've done a Detroit Lions video, I will not have a Detroit Lions hoodie on. And I will not put a hoodie on until probably free agency starts, which is in a couple of months. So get ready to sit tight. We're going to go over the game real quick, and then I'm going to talk about it. But the Detroit Lions fall to the Washington Commanders in the division round 45-31. And like I said in my video yesterday, that shockingly was my most viewed video on the channel. I can't believe it. That was the video that's gonna do that, but um, we fall, and this season was a letdown. It was a disappointment, a letdown. You can put so many words into it. It was a worse season than last season. Yes, we probably played better sometimes in the last season, or we did play better sometimes, but we also played a lot worse. When it come down to the big games like this, we were one and done in the playoffs. This season was a failure. Doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. I know this now. All right. So I've been a fan for about 10 years or so. We'll just round it up to 10. I think I've been a fan for about 8 or 9 years now. Um, my dad has been a fan for about 35, 40 years, all right? And in my opinion, this loss hurts more than the last year in the conference championship game. Now he still thinks that the conference championship loss last year hurts more, and I understand that. He's been a fan for so long; it's the closest he's been to seeing a Super Bowl in Detroit. Um, but for me, this game hurts more than last year. It hurts so much more than last year, simply because this was supposed to be our year. This was supposed to be our year to go to the SB. And we couldn't do it. We couldn't even get close, matter of fact. We were one and done the playoffs. Yes, we got the one seed. We went 15-2, won 3 more games than we ever did in a single season in franchise history. We got the one seed for the first time ever. We went back to back NFC North champions. We went 6-0 in the division. We did all of these accomplishments, but it doesn't. It we couldn't go to the big accomplishment was to go to the SB and win it. We couldn't do it. We could not even get close. That is the only one that really, truly, if you look at it, matters. So every year we have gotten better. The team has gotten better every single season. Now we are looking very good for next offseason. This will be, I think, the best overall team we'll have next year. Our free agents are really not that big of a deal. Last year weren't that big of a deal either, but this year really not a big of a deal at all. We only have really 2 big free agents who are going to cost a decent amount of money, in Carlton Davis and Kevin Zeitler. And Zeitler, who knows, could retire. Hopefully not, because I would hate for him to go out this way. But Carlton Davis, he's really going to be the only big one who's going to probably get a massive contract. But besides that, everybody else is going to be really cheap to bring back. So we're in a really good situation next year. So I understand that, and you could say next year will be our year, but at the same time, like, how many times can you keep saying this? So I'm going to talk about this game more. We're going to go over all the stats and all of that. I haven't even looked at the stats. I scanned through them like earlier this morning. This is being recorded on the day after, obviously. Um, I just scrolled through them earlier this morning, but I can't even really remember what happened. I'm going to be honest. I'm just trying to drain this out of my memory. Lions fall to the Washington Commanders 45-31. What an upset. And let me say this real quick before I forget about it. Shout out to the Washington. What did I just do? Shout out to the Washington Commanders. They absolutely put Belta. You know what? They killed us. They really did. They beat us by 2 scores. Should have been a lot more. You can blame all the turnovers. You can blame the injuries. You can do all that. But when it comes down to it, the Washington Commanders killed us. I mean, they destroyed us every way you look at it. Um, We'll do something different. We'll go to the team stats first, and then we'll go look at the player stats. Total yards for the Commanders, 481 to our 521. We had more yards, but yes, those yards that we had more came on the last drive or 2 of the game when it really didn't matter, when the game was already over. Passing yards, 299, 320. We beat them in that as well, but again, same thing in the garbage time there. Rushing yards, 182 to 201. Yards per play, 6.6 to 7.7. We beat them in every single statistic here, and we still lost by 2 scores. That's how bad our defense is. Or excuse me, that is how bad the turnovers affected us. First downs, 27 for the Commanders, 30 for us. Again, we won. Third down efficiency, 4 for 12. They went essentially 33%. We did as well. Fourth down efficiency, 3 for 4, 2 for 2. Total plays, 73 to 68. Sacks allowed, 0. We got there 0 times. 0 times. Once again, I'm going to lose my mind. Sacks allowed, 2. We allowed 2 sacks. One of them was on the strip fumble, and one of them was on a sack by Dorrance Armstrong. Dorrance Armstrong got 2 sacks. Dorrance Armstrong. Punts, 1-1. Penalties for yards, 4 for 25 for the Commanders, 5 for 30 for us. Really not that bad in terms of penalties. Fumbles lost, 0-1. Interceptions thrown, 0-4. Oh yeah, that's why. Time possession, 33 minutes, 59 seconds for the Commanders, and 26 minutes and 1 second for us. The time of possession was about the same heading into the fourth quarter, I believe. In the fourth quarter, they just absolutely destroyed the time of possession. They got about 7 to 8 minutes more than us in time possession just throughout the fourth quarter. Unreal. Now, going over the player stats, I'm just skimming through this real quick so I can not make this video too long. Jared Goff played one of his worst games. That's crazy. How are 4 people on here? Jared Goff played one of his worst games of the season, unfortunately. 23 for 40, one of his most inaccurate games of the year as well. Did throw for 313, but again, like probably at least 50 or 60 of those came in garbage time. 1 touchdown, 3 picks, did not have a good day. His passer rating, or not passer rating, but his PFF grade, I think, or whatever it was the same amount from his Texans game. He played just as bad, in my opinion, as the Texans game. And he did not deserve all the hate he did from the Texans game. He arguably played worse, in my opinion, this week than he did against the Texans game. I'll be completely honest. Did not have a good game, but something I will say that I'm getting I cannot believe Lions fans are doing this. Move on from Jared Goff. Jared Goff is not the answer. He's not going to get us to the SB. He's not the quarterback. He's not the franchise quarterback. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Jared Goff has done so much to get us there. Yes, 2021, horrible season by the whole team, Jared Goff included. But you look at the other season, 2022, improvement, looked fantastic, only through, 7 interceptions? 2023 looked even better. 2024 played his best season, arguably an MVP candidate up until this game. It doesn't make any sense. You sound stupid if you say that. I'm sorry. You sound absolutely stupid. God, I can't. It's the number one thing that's making me mad right now is people hating on Jared Goff. I don't understand. Trade him. Put Hooker in there. You're out of your mind. Now that that's out the way, Dave Montgomery had a pass for 20 yards. It was the St. Brown trick play. Teddy Bridgewater had to come in. Jared Goff got a big hit and got concussed. So Teddy Bridgewater had to come in for a couple plays, completed a pass for 3 yards. And he did have a carry where he gave the ball to, I forget who it was. I think it was Gibbs. Gibbs pitched it to Jamison Williams for a, 65-yard touchdown or something. And Jamison Williams, I gotta talk about this. I think I mentioned it in my mini reaction last night. 0 for 1 in an interception. There is multiple things I have a problem with here. Number one is Jamison Williams. Why are you throwing that ball? I like Jamison Williams a lot. I think he's going to turn into a monster within the next couple of years. But who decided to give him that ball, to throw the ball in the first place? Was it Ben Johnson? I mean, obviously it had to be, but did somebody else have an impact on that too? Did Randall L. for some reason have an impact on that or something? Did Campbell have an impact on that? You know, I have so many questions on that play. I was telling my dad when that happened, well, we're in a situation, well, maybe we do a trick play or something like that. I was not talking about a trick play, though, where you're going to have Jamison Williams throw the ball. Like, 40 yards downfield. Like, what are you doing, dude? Jamison Williams, he throws it in double coverage to Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs was essentially not even looking at the ball. I don't understand what he was doing at all. It was a dumb decision. Jamison Williams was trying to talk to Randall L. about what he was trying to do, but there was nothing you can defend yourself there, J-Mo. I mean, there was no way he was going to catch that ball. He didn't have a chance at it. So, whoever created that play call in J-Mo, just don't throw that ball next time. I mean, that's essentially what already ended the game. It was pretty much already over at that point anyway when it happened, but that officially for sure sealed it. But hopefully he can learn from it next year. He's got to mature a little bit when it comes to that type of stuff, for sure. And I know he can do it, but you cannot make that throw, man. That was such a dumb throw. Rushing yards, Gibbs was our best player, in my opinion, from last night. 14 carries, 105, 7.5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. And I have a problem here. I don't understand. Ben Johnson did this a couple times through the season. Ben Johnson, I love the guy. But why? Why does he stop running the ball? I understand we were down by 2 scores essentially the whole time in the second half. I think it was the whole time in the second half. I understand that. But what was the best thing that was working in the first half was running the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs especially. Why did you get away from it? He had, I think, like 12 carries in the first half. They gave him, I think, 2 carries in the second half. Who? Matter of fact, let's take a Dave Montgomery. Returned from injury from this game. Shout out to Dave Montgomery. 7 for 28, 4 yards a carry. He only had 7 carries. Not mad at that, all right? Coming off from injury. But he, I believe, had the same amount of carries, if not more, from the second half than Jahmyr Gibbs did. And Dave Montgomery is a power back. He's not an elusive back who's going to break one like Jahmyr Gibbs most of the time. I don't understand. That was so stupid. Jahmyr Gibbs was playing out of his mind and you just decided not to run it with him. Unreal. Jamison Williams, like I talked about earlier, that was that 60-yard run when Teddy Bridgewater was in the game. Jared Goff went for 7. St. Brown, I didn't really actually know he played this good of a game. I thought he only had like 80 yards or something like that last night. My dad told me about that. He played this good of a game. I didn't know that. Most of these yards must have been in garbage time. I can't remember. Again, I got to go rewatch the tape, but it's going to be a while before I do that. 8 receptions for 137. Now, he did have a drop in there. That's why I'm saying he didn't play the best game last night. He did have a drop in there that still probably wouldn't have mattered regardless, but he definitely could have caught and should have caught. That could have helped us a little bit, but St. Brown's done so much for us. I'm not really tripping about it. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's unreal, man. 6 for 70. Laporta, I'm telling you, Laporta finally came on here at the end of the year. I thought that like the last 5, 6, maybe even 7 games, he played out of his mind. He played like 2023 Laporta, if not better. 6 for 51 and a touchdown. That touchdown, by the way, is going to go down as one of the best catches in the NFL this season. One hand, a tight end, a 250-pound tight end reaching out, grabbing it with one hand essentially the whole time to make the touchdown. Unreal. Shout out to Sam Laporta. Khalif Raymond, 3 for 37, like that. He was getting involved in the offense a little bit. Tim Patrick didn't have the best day, 1 for 22. He dropped a pass. I believe it was on the first drive of the game. I don't know if it was dropped or not, but from what I saw, it was dropped. And he could have had a ball that he should have had a chance at catching that Jared Goff threw a pick on. But again, I don't know. I haven't rewatched the tape, so it might have been a little bit high. But he could definitely play a little bit better. J-Mo, 1 for 19. I didn't know he was that lackluster in the receiving game either. And J-Mo, again, this is where I have to come down with you. I understand with like the final drive or 2 in the game, he was just running deep routes the whole time, trying to break a defender to get a touchdown. I understand this. But when we were throwing it in the middle of the field, catch, the clock's continuing to run, J-Mo's not even, in my opinion, running back 100%. I understand you're probably gassed going down there all the field, but you're not even, it's not even looking like he's trying coming back. Like, what are we doing, man? I'm sure Dan Campbell had a fit about that if I am right on that. Dan Campbell probably was all over that. Jamison Williams also had a ball, I think it was about a 60-yard pass that he should have caught that he couldn't bring in because I think he might have stopped running his route. I can't remember, though. Defensive side of the ball, it was a horrible defensive side of the ball. Again, I believe this is the most points we allowed all season. I could be wrong. Alex Anzalone led the team in tackles. He is so good, man. He is the heart of this defense for sure when Hutchinson isn't out there. Jack Campbell, pretty solid day. Branch. Matter of fact, they didn't shut this guy out last time when he had to step in. Christian Mahogany. He played his first career game, I think it was against Buffalo. Played phenomenal, especially for your first game as a 6th-round rookie. He should have been a 2nd-round pick, in my opinion. I had him as a mid-second round draft pick. Fell to the 6th round and we got him. What a steal. And in my opinion, Graham Glasgow, not another bad day by Graham Glasgow. In my opinion, if Kevin Zeitler is going to return, you need to have Graham Glasgow and Christian Mahogany battle out in training camp next year. Graham Glasgow did not have a good season this year, and Christian Mahogany had another phenomenal game. I don't think it was quite as good as the Buffalo Bills game, but he still played a very good game. You need to have him battle it out with Graham Glasgow throughout training camp. I'm pretty sure it's the second year of Graham Glasgow's deal in Denver, he was a backup. So he's definitely been a backup throughout his career. So if Graham Glasgow's a backup guard, I'm going to feel the most comfortable our offensive line has been through the whole tenure, honestly. But Christian Mahogany, he's been out of his mind. he needs to for sure battle it out with Glasgow. In my opinion, he should win it. I mean, I was so high on him coming out of the draft. I can't believe he fell. I just got to say that. But yeah, what I was saying is Brian Branch and Christian Mahogany out of both teams combined had the highest PFF grades for both teams at I think it was 92.9 or 92.3 or something like that. They were tied for the most on both teams. Kirby Joseph, he didn't have his best game, but he was okay. Tyrion Arnold was okay. My guy Maurice Norris had to step in the game late in the game. I really didn't think he played that bad. He did have one of the lower PFF grades first, but it's PFF, so I mean I'm not really tripping over it. I didn't think he played that bad. Did allow a completion for about 10 yards. But it is what it is. I mean, like, he shouldn't be in that role anyway. I can't believe your first game essentially on defense is going to come in the biggest game of the season, though. Amik Robertson, he got hurt, I believe, he was on the second play of the game, but he got a broken hand. Dan Campbell, there were some reports coming out this morning that he did have successful surgery. He was immediately taken to the hospital after he broke his hand on the field. He did have successful surgery, so I think it was Tom Pelissero reported that he should be good to go for off-season activities. So that's good. I thought he was potentially going to miss part of the season next year from his injury, but it doesn't sound like that'll be the case. So prayers up to Amik, and we need your man for next year. Cody Muhammadi, I thought that should have been a sack. He had a tackle for loss. I thought it should have been a sack. It was on Marcus Morrow on a trick play they were trying to do on fourth down. They count as a run, so that kind of sucks. But we need to bring him back next year, man. He played so good for us this year. He reminds me a lot of James Houston, but just better. Kendall Vildor, okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Kendall Vildor. I've always had this guy's back, until like a couple weeks ago when he was getting torched. But people just absolutely hate this guy. They call him the worst cornerback I've ever seen. First off, he shouldn't be in this role to begin with, okay? Second off, he has really not been that bad these past couple of games. Like when he had to step in. Week 18 had to step in for he had to step in for somebody. I'm tripping on here. I think Arnold went down. He had to step in for Tyrion Arnold, okay? Meek Robinson was CB1 at the time. He had to step in for Arnold. Played very well. I think he only allowed one completion this game. Played very well. Had a pass breakup. Like, he has not been that bad, man. If we bring him back and he's our 5th, 6th string corner next season, even just a practice squad body, I'm gonna be really happy about that, man. He is really not that bad. Like, yes, he's gonna allow a big play, but when you're put in that situation to begin with, he's of course gonna allow a big play. Jerry Jacobs did it all the time. Will Harris did it all the time. Like, let's stop with this. Look at this. Jahmyr Gibbs is on the defensive side of the ball for tackles right now. Fatu Malafanu did not have a great day. Sam Laporta on the defensive side of the ball. Reader. I gotta talk about this too. DJ Reader, I'm not mad at the signing, but there's a little bit of lackluster season. I'm not talking about for the sacks perspective, but I didn't see him in the backfield enough for me to say, oh yes, for me to grasp the signing and absolutely love it. I didn't see him in the backfield enough. Good player, definitely a good defensive tackle, one of the better defensive tackles in the league. But from what I was anticipating, didn't live up to his first year in Detroit. Hopefully can change it around the second year. Trevor Nowatzki, they started doing this a little bit this game too from what I saw. They started blitzing Trevor Nowatzki again. I don't understand. If they do that again with any linebacker next year, I'm going to lose my mind. It never works. They did it with Jack Campbell last year. It was even worse than Trevor Nowatzki this year. Don't do it again next year. It doesn't work. St. Brown, defensive side of the ball. Za'Darius Smith didn't really do anything, but I'm not tripping. I mean, like, the guy is like 33 years old, and he should not be our number 1 pass rusher. They made us return the ball quite a lot. They had us return the ball 5 different times, and we couldn't really do anything out of it. Jake Bates 1 for 1 and 6 for 6 on extra points. Or 4 for 4 on extra points. Jay Fox 1 punt for 43 yards. Let's skim over the Commanders, and then I'll talk more about this game and then my plans for the off season. Jaden Daniels killed us. 299, 2 touchdowns, about 80% completion percentage. Brian Robinson, 15 for 77, 2 touchdowns, ate us alive. Jaden Daniels. We kind of held him in check on the ground, but could have done a little bit better. Austin Eckler kind of killed us when he was out there. Dynami Brown, I believe he was a former bust 2nd round pick, unless I'm thinking of somebody else. 98 yards, played one of his best career games, unreal. Terry McLaurin, you take away that 60-yard touchdown or whatever he had, he only had about 30 yards. We held him in check besides that. Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler were okay. Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder isn't the guy like 35 years old, 2 for 25. Jeremy Chin had a pick. Mike Sanderstill had 2 picks. He's been so good this year. Marshawn Lattimore really didn't do much this game. Quan Martin had a pick 6 on Jared Goff. And Dorrance Armstrong had 2 sacks. Zane Gonzalez went 1 for 2 on field goals, and he went 6 for 6 on extra points. So, there it is. That is the overview, the final overview of the 2024 season. You will see from me. That's it. So, let's follow the Commanders. Now, what are my plans for the offseason? You will see another video or 2. I don't know about 2, but you will for sure see one more video coming out this week about something. I'm not going to spoil it yet, but you will see. I don't know when it's going to come out. Probably around Tuesday or Wednesday is when it'll come out. Maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. You will see that. And then I will be taking a little bit of a break. I know I just took a 2-week break, but that doesn't matter for the 1 seed anyway now. It didn't matter that we got it. And also, we all needed a break regardless. But yes, I will be taking a break after that video comes out for probably at least a couple of weeks, potentially even up to a month. Once, a couple weeks before free agency starts, I will come back and start making free agency videos and potentially even a couple of draft videos. So there's that, but yes, you'll see one more video on this channel after this, and then I'll be taking a break for about a couple weeks, up to a month. Unless if we do hear some Lions news, which I highly doubt it. So the Lions are going to be highly inactive here for the next month or so. And then we'll probably start re-signing players and doing all of that. But this offseason, man, it's going to be so much longer. This is also why I think this loss this year is more painful than the NFC title game. This offseason is going to be so much longer. We have an extra week, and it's just going to be so much longer because this was our year, man. I mean, you can say last year was our year, and we should have been our year, but this year definitely should have been our year, man, and we couldn't get it done. So, you know, on the 2025-2026 season, you know, we just got to pray and hope. Go Lions. In terms of Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, if they're going to leave, they probably will. There is a chance they will stay and want to come back to get that Super Bowl, but I don't know. Ben Johnson kind of seemed to love it yesterday, so we'll see. Aaron Glenn, who knows? He could have coached himself out of a head coaching spot. I doubt it, but we'll see. So there's going to be some changes made to this team. Again, we're in a very good position besides the coordinator situation. We're in a very good situation for next season, but I can't believe I'm saying next season. This was our year, man, and we lost in the divisional round. Again, shout out to the Commanders. They put belt to you know what. But this was our year, man. So, you know, I will see you in about a month from now. And, yeah, one pride, go Lions. And I heard multiple people this week say if the Lions couldn't win a Super Bowl or even get to a Super Bowl, it's just, look at it like it's just football. No, it's not just football, man. For you've seen fans, the season ticket holder from last year, who's had season tickets for 60 years or whatever, hasn't seen the Lions make a Super Bowl. The guy who dyed his blue hair last year, and I think he was in hospice, he died last year, okay? There's been so many other Lions fans who have died as well. And my dad, he's been a fan for 30 years, hasn't seen the game yet. I'm only going on 10 years, and I haven't seen the game, but I can't imagine what it feels if I was him right now. It's more than just football. It's way more than just football. For the city of Detroit, it's way more than just football. So I had to get that on my chest as well. But, one pride, go Lions. You'll see one more video from me before I disappear for about a month. So, one pride, go Lions. Lions Live Wire, out.